It's a little chilly in our apartment today, so I'm wrapped up and trying to keep warm. So welcome. Thanks for joining us for our weekly DM chats. I am going to be talking today about Burnout. And not the stuff you do with your car. But DM Burnout and player Burnout. It is a thing that happens to many people who play D&D and do anything really. I mean, it's a thing that happens. And it's not really anything to be ashamed of at all. Burnout can come in a variety of different things, different symptoms, if you will. So one of the things is, well, let me back up a little bit. So aside from actually talking about burnout and like the symptoms that you may experience, what to do about it, you know? How do you go about rectifying it? So that's what we're going to talk about. And I think a cat farted. And yeah. But yeah, the burnout is an issue that I think a lot of people experience, especially with D&D. I know I'm currently experiencing it a little bit. I'm kind of just with basically been going at this D&D shenanigan thing for almost a year now, roughly. And yeah, it's having a break every now and again is really awesome. But you can the symptoms of burnout can be very mild to very extreme. DMs, you can experience this in a variety of different ways. It can be something very, very minor, such as maybe a player, something like their habits or behaviors that you've tolerated or dealt with. It's never really given you any issue or pause prior, suddenly become something that just really irks you again and again. For example, you know, some people just don't understand the mathematics behind D&D. They don't. It's, you know, it happens. We all have those players. They're more in for, you know, the story and the laughter, and the dice are just kind of secondary to them. So they don't understand, or they don't comprehend or retain what dice to roll when, you know, how to calculate damage or their attack bonuses, that kind of stuff. And for a lot of people, that can be very frustrating. But at the same time, if you understand that person's play style, it's one of those things that you can manage and just be like, okay, roll this die, roll this, you add that, okay, move on. And you can kind of move forward in combat or just in general. But if it's something that is starting, you know, something that you've gone through and it's been something that you've dealt with and had in your campaign or your game for ages, and suddenly it's just like annoying you endlessly, could be a symptom. Another one is, you don't find what you do enjoyable. And I think this is probably the biggest thing that you'll hit that point and you're like, my God, this isn't fun anymore. And you know, D&D is a game. First and foremost, it is a social event that you and your friends get together and tell a story with each other that is supposed to be fun. Yeah, there's going to be some serious moments in all stories there are, but it's supposed to be fun. When you as the DM or you as the player are experiencing sensations of dread, you know, lethargy, or even disinterest in your game, you are probably experiencing burnout in some degree. And honestly, like, it happens to all of us. Some other things, you might find yourself envious of your players, DMs, of their ability to kind of be like, not have all the things that you do. And as a DM, you know, we do a lot for our games. We do a lot for our players. We put in a lot of effort. A lot of the games that you all create have so much of your energy and soul in them. And sometimes your players just don't understand how much you truly put in of yourself into your game. And it can be really disheartening for you as a DM when your players don't seem to recognize that and blow it off, or don't, seem to give you credit or be thankful for what it is you do and the time and effort you put into the game, which can lead to burnout. The thanklessness of being in your position and running a game again and again and again with, no one truly taking into account how much you put into it. It can cause you to get very forlorn and just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. As a player, again, you can have that. You can experience some of the things that DMs do as far as burnout is concerned. You can experience that same aggravation of other players. If a player is, again, doing that thing where, they're not super great with maths or the dice, and you get super annoyed with it and aggravated all the time about it, even though it's something that's been there and you've dealt with prior, you could be experiencing burnout. Or you find yourself truly disinterested and you find yourself sitting back playing with your phone, and disengaging from the game, and you're just kind of sitting there like a lump on a log for X amount of hours and not really participating in the game. You might need to consider why you're here. And again, if you're experiencing that dread of playing a game, or you find that your emotions, the things that maybe are impacting you in your life, are bleeding over into D&D and impacting how you play your character, that could be a burnout thing. Maybe you need to take a step back. And that's really one of the main resolutions you can do when you're experiencing burnout, is to take a step back. And by taking a step back, I mean you can, take a break, whether it's a small break or a big break. As a player or a DM. As a DM, if you are experiencing burnout, this is a great time for you to say, have a talk with your players and voice what it is you feel. Let them know, hey, I really enjoy what we've been doing, but I need a break. I have been doing a lot and I need a moment. I need some time to maybe go into another role, maybe become the player for a little bit. And that's something you can definitely do. And if there's players in your group who want to try DMing, maybe take a couple sessions off as you being the DM and maybe let that player take on...
Don't gesture to me.
It was not a gesture to you. It was just a gesture. You can let another player take on that role. And it gives them a chance to be in the hot seat, so to speak. And it also gives them a chance to kind of see what it is you do. Especially if they've wanted to try DMing, and they just really haven't had a chance, or have been kind of like, I don't know how to start. You can help them kind of maybe pick out a one-shot or a couple sessions game. And sometimes being on the opposite end of being on the other side and of the DM screen, and just be able to provide, suggestions as to what happens, or what you could do in a game, is really fun. And I think it helps maybe drive your creative juices when you're not having to think of everything, and getting to kind of sit back and enjoy playing again is really, I think, refreshing, because then you can focus on one thing and one thing alone instead of all the things. Which I think is why I've been doing so well as being a DM, is because I also have two other games that I'm playing in. We have our on-camera game, for me, Turicel, where I play Badger, and then we have an off-camera game that we're playing with some other friends, where I'm playing a goblin artificer. My Amsnell, they're crazy. I'm truly embracing what it means to be chaotic. They were supposed to be neutral, but I think they're taking on more of the chaotic good role, but they are an interesting character, to say the least. But yeah, it's nice to have that to fall back on and just kind of let your brain wonder what's going to happen, as opposed to trying to be 3 steps ahead of your players and going, okay, now this is going to happen, now this is going to happen, now this is going to happen, now this is going to happen. So yeah. It's probably the biggest suggestion I can give you. And, if no one wants to step up to the plate and take over, DMing a couple rounds while you take a break, that's fine. Set a date of when you'll come back and just take a break. Or, maybe just go indefinite. Which if you're really wanting to pick up on the game again, I would definitely suggest setting a date. Just because having our own experiences, if we never have set a date after we take a break, it just never happens again. Just dies. Which is sad. But it's sometimes inevitable. And yeah. So, that's basically burnout. It's a thing that happens. And it basically just comes down to take care of you, take care of your mental space and your physical and mental well-being. No one aside from like Critical Role, who we don't count, and a couple of other professional streaming accounts, you don't get paid for this. You are in no way obligated to do what it is you do. You do it out of love. You do it out of a shared passion for the game and the creativity that comes with the game. So if you need to take a break, do you want to come over here, kitty? Or are you the gassy one? Come on. Okay.
So taking a break.
But yeah, you're in no way obligated to be here. For your game, your player isn't obligated to be there. It was a mutual agreement to be there and to have fun. And if you're not having fun, you're not enjoying, and you're not in the spirit of what D&D is. And that goes for anything in your life, take care of yourself. If suddenly you're just tired of sports, take a break. If you're tired of singing in a choir, take a break. If you're tired of playing video games, take a break. It's whatever it is you're doing in your life. If you're getting tired of it and you need a break, take a break. That's just what it comes down to. And maybe find something new. Maybe play some, instead of, while you still enjoy hanging out with your friends, but you don't want to play D&D, maybe do something else. Maybe on that meet-in, on that date, maybe instead of playing D&D, you play a board game, or you just sit around and play cards, or you sit around and just talk. Those are things you can do. So you can do it. But yeah, it's probably the biggest advice as far as I can give you as far as burnout. When you're starting to experience it, just step back. And that was a really short little bleh.
You guys make me feel like I am so too talky, because mine are always like an hour, and you guys are like 13 minutes.
Haha, we have a question.
Oh!
What is the best way to approach players you think may be experiencing burnout?
Probably on a one-on-one.
Burnout in game, yes.
Depending on your relationship with that person, or, maybe go meet them for coffee, maybe go to a neutral space. I would suggest that way it's neither your space nor theirs. And just talk to them, say, hey, I've noticed that, you seem to be really lackadaisical, or you're not really engaged with me in the game. What's going on? Just touch base with them. Most of the time, probably there's something going on in their life that, you maybe not be aware of. If you're close enough friends, they might feel the need to share it, or they just might say, hey, it's something personal. And you're like, well, hey, do you need a break? You don't have to be here. You're not in any way obligated to be a part of my game. I'd love you to be with us, but, if you need to take a break, I will support you 100%, and I will find a way to work your character back in if they have to step out for a while. I mean, that's what a good DM does. And as you as a person, as a friend, you need to make it if they sometimes, maybe some people feel obligated to be a part of something even though they don't want to be there. And sometimes giving them that out is just what they need to say, yes, that is what I need. I need to take a break. I need to take care of these things in my life. Great. You do that. We'll welcome you back when you're ready. And that's a part of being a DM, because DMs are leadership roles in an essence. Hi, you want to come on? There you go. Yeah. Shoulder cat. But yeah, it's, you have to be able to step up and just have a conversation with your friends. So. I'm not in any way a part of the chat right now, so I have no idea what's going on.
If there's nothing exciting happening.
Oh,
Okay.
Their character got kidnapped. New story arc for everyone else was the suggestion.
New story arc?
Yeah. Where, like, never mind.
I mean, if you went that way, that would actually be an excellent way to kind of work it out that the character's gone, but also give the players a story or a story catch to.
It's a Critical Role reference for when Travis and Laura were gone and their characters were just kidnapped.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that, even though I technically just watched those episodes a couple weeks ago. Months. It's been months, actually. So. But yeah, I mean, it's a viable option. Yeah, isn't it? It is. I know. You're so sweet. Look at you.
Okay, I'm typing a question in here, but you guys can't judge me because my cap lock's got stuck.
Again?
Okay.
Alright, what's this question?
I'm typing.
Okay, I need you to type faster, please. We're judging Andy for... in all caps. How do you tell if it's burnout or boredom?
Ooh. How do you tell if it's burnout or boredom? I think you know the difference. I think you can tell the difference between burnout and versus boredom. I think with burnout, there's a dread. There's a complete lack of desire to do anything. When you're in game and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I really wish I could participate. That's probably not you burning out, but you just being like, man, I really want to participate, which is you being bored, but you want to participate. If you are in game and you are actively participating or trying to participate and you're like, my God, I don't want to be here. My God, I wish I could get out. Even if you're sitting there playing on your phone and you're not thinking, I want to participate. I wish my character could do something right now. Yeah, I think that I don't know how to explain it. Because I think that it also comes down to, like, after the game. If you have gotten to a point after the game where you're still jazzed about wanting to play and maybe you didn't get to as much time during a game to participate and you're still jazzed about the possibility of playing next time, you're not experiencing burnout. You've probably just experienced boredom. If you've gotten to the end of that session and you didn't participate as much and you are just tired, and it's not the tired of, my God, I just had a good time. It's the tired of, ugh, that was such a labor of immense effort. Most likely burnout. Because there's a difference, I think, in like when you get done, like with 5 hours that we play D&D every 2 weeks. Yeah, there's a sense of tiredness that comes with having just taxed your brain for 5 hours in a creative way. But for me, it's a tired of, man, that was really refreshing and fun to do. Now I get to sit and, ruminate on all the awesome things I just did. I can't wait to do it again. If I were to end a game and be like, my God, that was the most taxing thing I have ever done. Like when you get home from work. Maybe you actually enjoy work, so, take this with a grain of salt. But, if you get home, when you get home from work and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't think. And you don't want to do anything after that, and you can't person anymore. Yeah.
When you can't people anymore, that's a bad sign.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for a lot of people, they experience that daily when it comes to jobs because our jobs suck. Some people have it nicer when they actually enjoy their jobs. I actually sort of enjoy mine now. So I still get home and I'm like, hey, I can do things. Do, which is really refreshing, actually. You gonna get down now?
I'm leaving.
Okay, I got your butt. But yeah. I think that the difference between boredom and burnout is when you end after that session, what is your desire? Do you want to do more? Or are you just like, fuck no? That's probably a gauge of what you're really experiencing. I should probably actually like get into Twitch.
That would be a good idea, maybe.
Alright, everyone's just making fun of me because my caps lock is stuck and it's fine.
Brian called himself out, which was hilarious to me.
Oh, I have another question, so don't judge me.
Okay.
No, it's good.
No, just judge you loudly, it's fine.
Oh, okay, we're just gonna have an emoji in it too because I don't feel like backspacing.
Oh, I have that volume turned up.
Awkward.
Whoop, that's the wrong way.
Awkward. It's fine. We are a professional establishment here. Super professional.
I'm having a hard time.
How
okay?
do you know when you're ready to go back after Burnout?
No, my favorite is it's
Fox
Fox.
emoji.
Fox emoji. How do you know when you are
Captain Fox
QRE
would like to know.
ready to go back after Burnout? Space question mark.
Though technically, Captain Fox would like to know, how do you go back to your life after you were engulfed and killed by a monster when you just wanted to have a spa day, but the party wanted to keep you safe?
Yeah, if you haven't watched that episode of Terry Cell, you should really watch that episode of Terry Cell.
Poor Fox, just having a spa day, minding his own friggin' business.
That's, I think, a personal call. I know for me, I'm like, so we canceled not Terry Cell, Cyril on the 16th.
We canceled Terry Cell forever.
Oh, really?
Who decided that?
Oh, that hurts, Susie. That hurts deep, man.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah, I would be really disappointed if Terry Cell ended.
I would also be
Prematurely.
Very disappointed if Terry Cell ended. I want at least a good ending, even if it's Rock's fault, all of you die because you're horrible people.
I just bought a Badger figure. I've got to use it at least once. It has a badger on it. Not just Badger, but Badger. But a badger. Anyway.
So, question. Yeah.
Question. Back to that. How do you know when you are ready to go back after Burnout?
Fox, how do you know? Question. How do you know when you're ready to go back after Burnout? Space question mark.
Reading that out loud was a gift. Maybe. Let's see. I think it's a personal decision. It's something that you, as an individual, you have to do like a retrospective, like deep conversation with yourself. But no, you have to know where your own, I want to say boundaries, but your own values are, your own headspace. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of D&D lately here. We've been going literally week. And honestly, this week of not having D&D and not having Cyril is very refreshing for me. Not to say, I probably was starting to experience a little bit of burnout because it's like, whew, another game, whew, another game, whew, another game. And it is refreshing just to have that break every now and again. As I think it helps me recharge my creative juices. And it helps prevent, I think, like the true, like big, crash and burn burnout. But it's all you. You have to know who you are. You have to know your own thoughts. If you don't, you should probably see a doctor about that. But, maybe when you finally get to a point where you're like, somebody goes, hey, you want to play D&D? And you're like, yes, I do. And it's that spark of actual, like, I want to do this. Like, that's probably a good indication that burnout has gone and you have moved past it. But it's all a personal thing. It's all a personal decision. There's no right or wrong to any of this. It's all just kind of higgledy-piggledy, as they say in Britain.
That's for only when things are fucked up and look stupid.
They're catterwampus. They're individually sized.
Saki bottom.
No.
Yep.
No soggy bottoms
Nope,
here.
soggy bottoms.
My bottom is very dry. It really smells like a cat farted. And it's lingering.
I mean, there are 2 cats.
There are. There are 2 cats, but I figured it would have passed by now.
I mean, I have my theories. I'm not sharing them on camera.
Oh, okay. It just smells like cat farts. But yeah. It's all a very, kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna have a moment like I did at work the other day when I couldn't think of a word, and I spent like 5 minutes staring at a ceiling trying to think of a goddamn word. Don't you hate it when that happens? You just stop Englishing well.
No
Just
human.
aim the most dangerous part of that cat right at me, thanks.
Mm-hmm. You'll be fine.
AKA the asshole.
Not you.
But yeah, burnout is just, it's a very personal thing. We all experience it on and off. It really depends on your mood. It depends on what you're going through in your life. Recovering from it is as much a personal journey in and of itself. You know, what is your mood? What does your personal life include and entail? You know, work can really get you down 1 month and be perfectly fine the next. And, you know, during the month where work is just kicking your butt, that could be when D&D is just like, you know what? I can't do this. And that's fine. And, you know, it's D&D is a game. Above all and else. It's a game that's meant to be enjoyed by all. And if you're not enjoying it, you're doing it wrong. So, you know, take a break. Just go do something else. It's like when you have a favorite song and you've listened to it 300 times in a row and you're like, man, this song is really starting to annoy me, even though I
no
really
idea what
like
you're
it.
talking about. I've never experienced that before in my life.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you being sarcastic? Because I do that all the time. Where I listen to one song on repeat because I really like the song, and then I'm just like, you know what? This song's starting to annoy me, and I'm like, well, duh, Carolyn, you've been listening to it on repeat for like hours. Maybe it is time to put on another song. It's a process. I oversaturate myself with something I really, really like. It's a problem. But anyway, I don't really have anything else to say. I'm sorry. So, we're gonna move right along here. So, don't forget that we will be hosting a rerun. Oh yeah, that's right. So, the most amazing one shot happened, and also the dating game in and of itself that we did, the kind of mini game within the one shot that we did. Amazing. We will be doing a rerun of that tomorrow for Valentine's Day. So, you know, if you don't have a Valentine, you can just come and watch us. Or if you have a Valentine, you can watch it with us and your Valentine.
Rust monster and a kobold.
Yeah, come watch the incredible journey of a rust monster and a kobold getting together. It's great. Also, the Mimic, they didn't get paired with anyone, but that's okay. They were still amazing.
Strahd was there?
Strahd was there. But yeah, so yeah, it's hilarity and great fun. It's probably the most laughter I think we've had in a while with one of our games. And it's pure role play. There's no dice involved. So it's great fun. But yeah, we'll be doing a rerun of that. Like I said, we will not be having Cyril this weekend. I'm so sorry. I had a family engagement that I really wanted to go to. So that's why I'm not here. But we might be doing, the others in the channel might be doing something. Might not. We don't know yet. You'll probably be as surprised as we are when it happens. And then, of course, we always have our DM chats here every Wednesday. Next week is Susie. Topic to be determined.
Susie's face. Oh, no.
Unless you know what your topic is.
I have no idea what my topic is because I forgot.
Cool.
I forgot I was doing these.
So that is at 8 p.m., of course, every Wednesday night here on our channel, Roll for Trouble. And And then, of course, not this weekend, but next weekend, next Sunday, we have River of Teresa, where we are going to pamper the fuck out of Fox. Fuck out of Fox, what I meant to say.
Still doesn't sound right.
Rip Foxy hardly knew you.
Let's take you back to that bathhouse and just dunk you in some water. It's fine.
We kept you so safe.
So yeah, that's our streaming schedule for the next 2-ish weeks. But thank you all so much for joining us. I really appreciate you guys popping in, and we will see you soon.
Aggressive finger guns from the floor.
Bye, Internet.